Yeah, we're talking about Pokemon with guns today. You know it, you love it. Palworld. I really like what I'm seeing from this game. I loved playing it. And I like what's going on the development side of things. And I just kind of want to talk about it today. I was caught up in the hype and maintained a love for the game that stands out in the sea of constant releases. So my conclusion is, there must be something about this game. Let's take it from the top. You're gonna make yourself a character, wake up on the beach, start gathering some resources, introduce yourself to the locals, learning the combat system, just building yourself a team. There are a lot of pals in this game. When you're all done with that, you want to start building yourself a base. The pals will help you. They all have different functions and uses around the base. You just want to get your bearings, figure out the local area, and eventually build up your base to be even bigger and better. Then you explore. Now, I don't know about you, but this is all sounding a little bit familiar. It's hard to have a conversation about one game and not bring up other games to help describe it, nowadays especially. So today, I'm going to start off with, you guessed it, Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's obvious to figure out why people are drawing comparisons to this game. I think they even reference it at some point in Palworld. But if you don't know about PLA, Pokemon Legends Arceus, it's the reach away from the genre that the Pokemon Company took, much like Ubisoft did with their Assassin's Creed IP with Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla. Pokemon decided that they wanted to start adding in modern RPG elements, which I thought was an amazing decision. Instead of interacting with the world through random square tiles and avoidable social interactions, the world was alive. You could get messed up by these huge magical monsters or befriend them. I don't know, it just brought life to a dull game. As somebody that's played Pokemon games for a majority of my life, it was nice to see the company grow and learn, start using aspects of the other games that I've been playing, and developing their IP to be something more than it currently is. It's something that I really wanted to carry on and keep going. Another game that I wanted to talk about though was Ark Survival Evolved. Never mind that this is Ark Survival Ascended, they're the same game basically. Ark is this pretty janky game about dinosaurs and ascending. A game that really stuck out to me as being an amazing addition to the survival genre. You start the game thinking that all there is to do is ride dinosaurs, build a small hut, and survive the night. But soon realize there's a hidden subplot that will take days, weeks, and years to fully realize and escape. That's the point, escape the Ark. The game transforms in front of your eyes. It isn't about surviving in the end, it's about thriving. Taking on humongous monsters and defeating impossible enemies using highly advanced technologies, incredible armies of thoroughbred, highly dangerous dinosaurs that make the struggles of the early game a thing of the past. Palworld took aspects of both of these games, the catching and storing of monsters, the wild controllable movesets of said monsters, and I guess also the gym system is derivative, as well as the rideability and survival game utility of the monsters from Ark, such as mounted combat, resource gathering, or general transportation. But Palworld didn't just copy and paste these aspects, they made them their own. I love both of these games, but it's easy to get caught up in liking the games because you did at one point and forget why you started to love the game, you know? I liked this game because I love Pokemon, I love the franchise, I've played the game since I was young. and seeing them grow was nice, but I'm also a more experienced gamer, and at this point when I was playing this game, this wasn't enough for me. Moments like this are telling of a company or studio that doesn't understand where the interest of the player base lies. It seems like they have their feet stuck in cement. And with Ark, there are just aspects of the game that you ignore because it's Ark. This is the survival game that you play. This is the game for this. But why is it going to take me 10 minutes to go over to this volcano to farm a resource? I can still see, my base is still in render distance. And I'm flying around slowly. I've done my time. I've played this game through on the intended settings. I've done it before. Why am I... Progress feels stagnant. I can see why. I see why they stay in their lane. They're doing what works for them. They're doing what they're comfortable with. Right? But Palworld is bringing something new. Palworld is introducing player comfort to the genre. It's letting the player actually feel like they can do whatever they want to. They don't have to work towards having the fun. Which some people may like the payoff of putting in a lot of work to get to the fun parts. Have you ever experienced that phenomenon of you feel like you really want to start a new playthrough and you get started and then you realize it's going to take a week for you to get to the part of the game that you actually like playing? I don't know. With real-time combat and in general, Palworld just feels like it's interested in making the player experience as good as possible. I don't think Palworld is that game, you know? I don't think it deserves to be up on the podium with games like God of War, Baldur's Gate, Cyberpunk, new Cyberpunk 2.0. But I do think it's necessary. I think games like Palworld bring forward an understanding. They recenter us in the gaming community. They show us what it is to have fun again. Why we want to be playing video games. Why we call ourselves gamers. Games like Ark and Pokemon Arceus get lost in progression. Get lost in the search for perfection. Ark wants to make itself the best survival game. They want to challenge the player base. They want to hold themselves to a standard above all. And Pokemon, they want to grow. They want to adventure past where they've been before, but they don't want to lose themselves. They want to maintain the core of the game. But that's why Palworld's doing them a favor. Palworld is showing them the direction that they can go in. Inviting them to improve their next iteration on their IP. Ark 2 still has time in development. If it ever comes out. They're gonna make another Pokemon game. I bet my life on it. They have time. They can take notes on what Palworld has done here, on how they've advanced the player experience. I want them to. I'm begging them to. When these developers look at Palworld's success, I hope they see it for what it is. Not the novelty of the game, but the ingenuity that they had. It's not the content, it's the mechanics. Stop stuffing the nuance of your game into the ways you have to progress. It feels empty. With such a simple mechanic as breeding in a game like Palworld, they've done so much. Breeding any two pals with each other can create a different pal. This system by itself is so amazing. It allows for so many different ventures, so many different ways to play the game. If you want to play the game never catching a pal ever, you can do that. How dynamic the system becomes of getting stats onto certain pals from other pals is phenomenal. It's mind-blowing. It's such a simple thing that they introduced, yet it had profound waves towards the way that you can play the game. It inspired play styles. It's those types of mechanics that seem to be everywhere in this game. It's hard to talk about these other games like they don't have these types of advancements. It must be hard to make groundbreaking changes when you're worried about destroying the ground that your other games are standing on. That's why, though, I love when a developer like this gets a humongous win. When the kinds of developers that are actually coming up with a new edge get recognition. Cause then maybe there will be an actual impact. It'll change the world of gaming for the better. You know? A developer that isn't hungry for you to keep playing, for your playing hours to be as high as possible, is so refreshing. A game that wants to be played for just as long as it has content for is beautiful. They didn't make the game too long. They didn't make the game too short. It's just perfect. They made the game exactly what it needed to be. Palworld isn't without its flaws, but the advancements that it made in the genres is what these companies should be striving to make with every future installment. What they've done is incredible. It's inspiring. At least I hope it is. If you're still around, I appreciate you. Let's vibe.